Hi, this is the Lourdes Chris Show. This gorgeous vision of beauty and smarts and intelligence is my gorgeous wife, Lourdes, my best friend, and honestly, one of my favorite people. No, my favorite person, I would dare say. I'm going to go out there on a limb and say you are my favorite person in the world. And she's amazing in every way, shape, and form. Honestly, it's just a blessing that I know her at all, much less that she's my wife. And I am more excited than a corgi on stilts.
A corgi on stilts?
Yeah, corgis. They got the short, they got short little stubby legs, but if they're on stilts, the world is theirs.
That's actually cute. And this is my husband, Chris, who I adore. He comes up with the craziest things, but I always love him. So anyway, as my co-host and always supportive in every way, I mean, you can't be any more blessed than to have your better half as your partner in crime when it comes to stuff like that.
It's partner in
health.
Care. Partner in care.
Partner in care and in healthcare.
That's what's up. So the reason why I'm more excited than corgi with stilts on today. Well, no, but first let's talk about root brands a little bit.
Yeah, root brands. Well, root brands is actually how we start our day. And why do we start our day with it? Because there's no fillers, no synthetic, all organic, 100. And I mean organic to the point where they go all the way down to the mother seed to make sure that hasn't been messed up. Man. So it's legit 100%. And you can tell because when you take it, you feel younger and you see the reversal in a lot of the things, which is why you feel so much healthier and younger. Yeah,
our morning protocols are root brands. We do the Trinity right out of the gates. Plus we do the mitochondria, the relive greens and all that.
Mitochondria defense shield, the relive greens. It's like that, relive.
Yeah.
It really is like
bring back my youth.
Bring back my youth. I love that. It tastes really good. I put that in my hot chocolate, my homemade hot chocolate, by the way.
Yeah. It's not hot
from scratch.
It's not like hot chocolate like you're thinking.
No, not like the sugary crap about the stores. I'm just gonna call it like it is.
Yeah.
But it's the stuff that I make it at home, and I use raw honey to sweeten it with, and I use.
We should do an episode. We should do your little morning recipe for that. But
I think so, yeah.
Included with that morning recipe would be the root brands themselves because they do get you right off the bat out the door. And you know what? They're clever with their titles, with what they're called. Clean Slate does just that. It cleans you out. Restore does that. Just
from Clean Slate.
Yep. Restore does just that. It restores all the nutrients that you need in your body for an amazing day. And finally the last one,
and then the zero in. You really zero in, focus. Like it doesn't just, it's not like just food for the brain and get you really focused and stuff. It actually does a lot of things for you because if you think about it, your brain does so much and runs so much of your body's function. So what it does, well, you have to check it out. Go on there and really go into all the ingredients, what it does and how it works. Or just go to the LourdesandChrisShow.com. You can go there and see it, or you can go to therootbrands.com/create option C. Oh yeah.
And that's where we're going to see it. So the reason why I'm more excited than a corgi with stilts, well, first of all, that corgi with stilts, man, that table is his, right? There's nothing stopping him now from getting at that stuff. But I'm more excited because this episode we're just kind of going to break into like what has gotten us inspired and what has given us information out there. We're talking some documentaries, some books, some classes that we've taken, things like that we're just going to, because a lot of people will reach out to us and say, hey, Chris, I've been on the LourdesandChrisShow.com. You should too if you haven't. And I see that, but you guys have a bunch of information on there. Where are you getting your information from? And so we just kind of want to share where we're getting our information from.
I mean, and it's just not documentaries that you have experts. Experts explaining this stuff and showing evidence and so forth, which is so intriguing. I mean, we love that stuff because we want to be able to understand it to the level where we can explain it and that we can go, this is why I'm eating or drinking or taking these supplements because this is what's going on in the world and this is how I can turn that around or reverse or fix these things.
Yeah, we're not endorsed by any of these people that we're about to talk about, but really what got us started on this and was the question, where are you guys getting your information from? But the other thing too that we had just watched an amazing documentary.
So good. And when you see something really good, I mean, you can share it on social media, you can share it with your friends through emails or through text messages like we do, and many do, because that's how we get a lot of the stuff in the first place. It's more important if we can share it with others, even on our show, because we want people to go out there and actually watch these things instead of just listening to us or anybody else. Listen to us, But when you're done listening, go check it out so that you see it for yourself.
One thing that the Lourdes and Chris Show has prided itself on is that we don't want you to just take everything we say at face value. Do your own research and look into it yourself. And these are just sources for you to do your own research. And the first one that we're going to talk about tonight, we literally just watched about a week ago now.
A few days ago.
A few days ago. Yeah.
So good. And you know, and the title is Died Suddenly.
Died Suddenly. We watched it on Rumble. And it's very eye-opening. It's just
I mean, think about it. You don't just see like these doctors on there talking, scientists and they're talking, but you actually are going to listen to people that deal with the people that have passed away, that they clean out, you know, like they drain the blood, then they fill them up. Those people that get to see, that they get to see the morticians, but they get to see exactly what's going on, because no one's talking about it, and they're seeing something that they have never, ever seen, ever. And they've been doing this for decades. And it's not one person saying it, it's several morticians saying
it. I think that's the part that really kind of grabbed me was that it wasn't just one mortician who was saying it. There's a whole network of morticians and people
that were all calling each other.
And funeral directors. They were like, this is a strange thing that's happening. And then they all compared notes, and it was happening a lot. And, you know, we try to walk the line here so that it has a lot to do with, it coincides with a lot of the current events.
At first they were thinking, oh, maybe it's because that person caught this thing and that's what's going on. Because one of the things that I got clear, and the man made it really clear, is it didn't matter what they died from. Whatever they labeled that they died from, every single one of them had the exact same problem. And even that person who was speaking, and several others that were speaking, actually stated that there would be no way you could have lived with that in your system, no how.
Yeah.
So that's not, so they really strongly don't feel that they died from the things they were labeled that they died from or that they had. They felt that they died because they had the specific thing in their system, that there was no, in fact, they had problems embalming them.
You know, one of the things.
How do you embalm somebody when something's in the way? It wouldn't let it in. So they had to pull those things out first.
And it's one of those things where we're believers in cause and effect. You know, if you hit your thumb with a hammer, certain things are going to transpire, and you can't possibly say, "Oh, it was something else. It was because a plane flew overhead." No. This is definitely you hit your thumb with a hammer. And what's happening in this documentary is that they're doing the whole cause effect. This has happened. People have.
Well, they noticed it only in the people who had taken it.
Taken that thing
who had taken it. Anybody else that died of whatever else and did not take that, did not have that in their system.
I don't know if we're being too obtuse.
I don't know. At this point, you know, when it comes to life and death, we need to just express our truth and share what we've seen, so that others can then go out there and watch themselves, so that they can go, okay, what do I do to prevent that from happening to me?
Well, okay, so
that's why we share.
Yeah, and I'll say it like this: a lot of the morticians and funeral directors are seeing people that got a poke to prevent something, and those are the people that they're seeing these weird anomalies, and they show it. So you got to have a strong stomach when you watch it.
It's like, woo, it's hard to see.
No, but hard to see, but you have to see it.
You need to see it. Well, because you're going to be very informed. Like, seriously, the information is just mind-blowing. But it's just that when they're informing you, okay, and then they show you, you're just like, oh. I mean, there was a couple of times I had to, I'm going to be honest, I had to turn my face, because I'm like, oh,
and actually, you know, it's one of the reasons why Root Brands was so attractive to us, is because to date, the one thing that we've seen that helps to offset
to reverse the damage
that you got,
to reverse the damage of that
is clean slate.
Yeah. Now we didn't take any of that stuff, because we were clear from the beginning what was going on, so we avoided it. Regardless of how people thought we were, it wasn't going to change our thoughts.
And actually, you know, to a large degree, I feel bad for the people who felt like they were doing the right thing, and
because they were convinced they were doing the right thing, because that's all that was shoved down their throats on a daily basis. And by the way, still, no matter how many, I don't know.
No. Just today, we were surprised. We were surprised to learn that there were still famous celebrities who are saying, "You're ridiculous for not getting, this prick in the arm, this pinprick. You're ridiculous. You're part of the problem." And we're like, how is that still the narrative? I mean, there's so much,
especially when so many people said no.
Yeah.
and they're still fine, like us. We're still fine.
Yeah.
So it's really weird. And yet the people we know that did are experiencing the things that they were supposed to be protected from.
Yeah.
And yet we didn't get it, and
Well,
we're
there's
not catching any of those things, and we didn't take that thing.
And again,
but those that did are experiencing illnesses and things that they've already had going to the next level.
And again, look into it. Don't take our word for it, because we're just telling you what we've read up on. But I'm shocked. Studies. I'm shocked to learn that well, first of all, that the narrative continues to change, and folks, that should be a red flag in your mind, that the narrative keeps changing. That they can't stick to one solid storyline, and they keep moving around. Look, you wouldn't see a movie, like we're movie makers, we're filmmakers. No one would watch our film if we changed the narrative as much as the powers that be have been changing this narrative.
They've been like, oh, come on.
The most recent narrative is that that people will get weaker every time they have this dis-ease that ends in 19. People will get weaker every time they have it, and that is counter what science knows about people who get a virus. Science knows that you get stronger.
You get stronger. Your immune system builds an immunity. Now, I'm not talking about because you took a prick and it surpassed nature's way of taking it in, because it goes to the nose, the hair, the skin. There's process that it takes before the body then acknowledges it and builds an immunity. I'm not talking about surpassing that, just stick it right in there and go into your system.
Right.
No, we're talking about in nature, when you are exposed to things, you'll either feel a little icky and then better and it's over, or you get really, really sick and then it's over and you don't get it again.
Right.
Chances are, many people go, well, I've had it this many times. You either have had that put up your nose, which has graphene oxide in it, and other things in it that we're learning more and more about, that's similar to the very, so you either had this and you caught it, and then you caught it, and you caught it, and then you probably didn't get it at all in 2020. But in 2021 onward, when you did get it, you now are starting to get those things.
So it's concerning when the latest narrative says that it weakens your immune system. Each time you get it, it will be worse. That's really not how this is supposed to work.
So that tells you, if that, and then you almost wonder, this is just me. Why is it that those that didn't do this thing up their nose or in their mouth or this aren't catching it? If they even get sick, they're done and they don't ever get it a second time. But those that keep getting this up their nose or this in the mouth or this have gotten it and have gotten it more than once. So if it weakens your system, your immune system, how is that helpful? And why isn't it doing it to everybody? Why is it only doing it? I mean, I'm just saying, I see it on Facebook constantly.
I just realized we got off track. We really were talking about this documentary, and it's what.
But this documentary speaks about,
unpacks all this, is what we're trying to say. So as with all things, I think people should watch this documentary with an open mind, even a skeptical mind. Like go into it.
I would say skeptical.
Yeah, be skeptical about it.
Go in there and like, yeah, whatever. Let me see.
Yeah.
And then, without judgment, not with your narrative or their, no one's narrative, not the one side narrative or the other side, no narrative, two sides. Just like, let me see. Without my judgment or anybody else's thoughts, let me see and hear everything they're saying, and let me make a judgment according to that.
Yeah. And so the documentary's on Rumble. Like I said, we watched it on Rumble.
Yep. Just look for go to Rumble, right? Rumble.com, and then just click on Die Suddenly.
Yep. And and then brace yourself. It's a quick watch, actually. It's only an hour.
It's only an hour, but it feels shorter.
Yeah,
because it's so like it just keeps you
past an hour. It's a little bit past an hour, but it's not.
Yeah, but when it's done, you're like, wow, that felt fast.
Yeah, it felt fast. And what I like about that is concise. It gives you the information, and like I said, be skeptical. Go into it as a skeptic. That's fine. That's cool. Yep. But just allow yourself to be open to what you're seeing.
Yeah, open. Don't go like, I'm not. I see the truth, and I saw this, and I'm going to say it's not. I saw it's blue, but I'm going to say it was green.
Yeah.
Just watch with no thought in mind other than watching, and then base it off of what you watch.
Yeah. And so we just got done watching it, and it reaffirms a lot of what we believed and what we knew. And we encourage you to do the same thing. Just go to Rumble and look for that. And maybe we should put the link underneath. Can we do that?
Well, we're going to put the
link in the description. Yeah, so you guys can just hop onto that.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to talk about some of the other things that actually Lourdes and I watched while Lourdes was facing her health opportunity. Yep. And we'll unpack some of that, and so some people will be interested in hearing what we got our information from to begin with. Yeah. So we'll be right back.
We'll be back.
Clean Slate was formulated with proprietary patent-pending techniques that ignite the utility processes, creating bioavailable silica from nature's most powerful source and adding trace minerals and vitamin C.
And the result is revolutionary. Silica with ingredients that in combination work towards a higher standard of bioavailability, safety, and efficacy to support systemic passive cleansing of the body while simultaneously enhancing pathways to heal and regenerate.
Yeah, we absolutely love Clean Slate because what it's really doing is just cleansing you out in a way that you're not going to get sick, you're not going to have a breakdown.
No, you actually feel better.
Yes, you do.
I love the stuff. It's like it breaks things up so they can get it out while at the exact same time it puts in what you need. And that's the best way to do it because just taking things out can cause an autoimmune disorder and you don't want that.
Yeah.
So
we do live in a toxic environment, so it is important for you to cleanse every day, which is why we do it every day as part of our root brand Trinity. You should do the same. Go to therootbrands.com/create option C.
Yes.
We're back.
We're back.
We kind of had that was weird. We had a false start because our clock didn't reset like it was supposed to. So it was like, we're back. We are back, but we are back. Yeah. And so before we went on break, we kind of hinted that we were going to talk about some of the documentaries that Lourdes and I first introduced ourselves to when Lourdes had her health opportunity when she had cancer.
There's so many good ones and books.
Yeah, no, we'll get to the books in the last segment because there are plenty of books as well.
Yes.
She absorbed all of it like crazy. But
I could had to read something.
now, one of them that we watched that was really kind of eye opening and got us on the right path was called Forks Over Knives.
Forks Over Knives is so good.
Yeah, and I think let me see where you can watch. I think you can still watch that even now.
Just type in on the thing Forks Over Knives, right?
It's still available to stream. Yeah, in fact, it's on Tubi right now, which is a free streaming thing. So Forks Over Knives, and it gives you the question: does changing one's diet from a standard American diet of meat and potatoes and all that stuff. Does one changing
pie for dessert?
Yeah, right. Sweet sugar throughout the day, all day. High fructose corn syrup. We can go on and on. Does it actually behoove somebody who's facing a health opportunity to look at switching to a plant-based diet? And it's very compelling because it obviously it skews to that direction. And like I said before in several episodes, and you can catch all the former episodes on the LourdesandChrisShow.com, it is a divisive topic to say, be vegetarian, don't be vegetarian. You're going to find scientists and doctors on both sides of this debate. But I mean,
that's true.
But again, like we said with Died Suddenly, it's Forks Over Knives should be watched with a skeptical eye. Just watch it but ask yourself, does this make sense? Does this?
Because someone can say anything, but you can go, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
If someone explains something and then they break it down why and how things work, and you go, oh, if you think about that, well, yeah, that does work that way. Well, that would do this.
Yes.
So you just kind of have to look at it that way, and if it makes sense, it just makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and so and again, we're not endorsing something to get money out of it or anything like that. This is just literally just something that
we don't make anyone
right. This is just something that we watched that got the conversation thinking. The other one is Food Inc. And in fact,
that one was good too.
In fact, kind of the Food Inc. was more disturbing. Like
you're talking more than the one that, remember, I don't want to ruin it, but in Forks Over Knives.
Oh, maybe I might be thinking of Forks Over Knives.
One, I mean, there's stuff that you're going, it's like, but there was one part that was so disturbing, but I'm not going to ruin it. I'd rather you guys see what I got to see. Yeah. We would rather you just, like I said, open-minded go into it and take a look at it. I mean, when you think about, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like, why argue about eating plant-based foods? I mean, that's like nuts, because it's like, how dare you try to tell me that I should eat more fruits and vegetables and healthy things that, think about that. You can't say, well, if I eat fruits and vegetables, that's unhealthy. Like no one, but you can easily say, if I eat candies and sugars, obviously everyone knows it's unhealthy.
Right.
If I drink sodas, we know it's not healthy. You can't say, if I make fresh juice at home, it's not. You're just putting plant-based healthy stuff in your system. And obviously our bodies run on those compounds. Come on.
It's one of those things where we've said it before and it bears repeating. If you see a bunch of memes and clever anecdotes, jokes about basically railing against people who are vegetarians or vegans or any lifestyle choice. If you see a bunch of memes that kind of that skew in that direction where they're making fun of this group of people, it's like that should be another one of those red flags we're talking about. That should be something that sets something up in your mind. Why is that? Who is out gaining something
to keep you not
by vilifying something as simple, like you said, plant-based diet?
It's like no one can really think that eating fruits and vegetables is unhealthy. Come on. But we know that if someone has a heart attack, they don't tell you to cut back on celery.
Yeah, they say, hey, you had too much arugula.
No, what they actually tell you to cut down is on red meats.
Yes.
I'm just saying, so it makes no sense. They never say, you know what, you just had a heart attack. Cut down on eating those fruits and vegetables. It's like, no, it's never said. In fact, they try to get you more on a healthy plant-based diet and cutting down. And they may say have some, seafood, that kind of stuff. Yeah. But they don't tell you to cut down.
We were shocked when we did some research. A dear friend of ours is dealing with he has kidney failure, so he goes. One of the things that shocked us was when we learned that the website about that, like the organization about dialysis, they propose you eat a lot of red meat, even though they know, scientifically speaking, they should avoid red meat because their body can't consume it like it's supposed to be because they don't have the right enzymes inside their. I don't know. It's just
But then you think about this: if people start changing their diet, what happens to those places when people's bodies start healing because you've got the right tools? It's not the tools that are doing the healing. It's the body doing the healing because it has what it needs in order to do it. It's no longer starved for those compounds.
Yeah, and that's one of those things why we really like Food Inc. because Food Inc. does basically kind of open the door to the food industry. It is an industry, guys, and it's like it's almost treated like a textile mill or some other like metal works or something like that. It's a machine that marches forward, and these animals are mistreated and they're given all sorts of hormones and they're given all sorts of antibiotics and they're given all sorts of
which then you ingest.
Absolutely. Mad cow's disease, for example, it stems from the fact that these cows were eating other parts of cows. I mean, people think about it. It was a cheap protein they decided to put back in, and it caused mad cow disease. It's one of these things where just like I said, Food Inc. and Forks Over Knives both got us got us looking at this in a different way. The other one that we really liked was Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead.
Yes.
And that one was somebody who was told your health is crap, and he was looking at his diet and he said, well, let me try juicing for a year. And by juicing for a year, Sherry Calbon would be so happy.
Yeah. But it's so delicious when you do the right combination.
Sure.
And stuff.
And you know what's funny is that he documents his journey where initially it was difficult for him to do this. And it got to a point where it was silly for him not to. Like he just felt like he needed to continue his juicing journey.
Yeah, but it turned his health around.
It did, no, absolutely, and his
it had nothing to do with
scientifically. His numbers got better, his health numbers got better. Scientifically speaking, it literally turned his health around.
And that's what I mean. It turned his health around, and he didn't have to take a synthetic pill,
right,
that would cause more toxins in the body to hide the receptors, so that you don't have to feel that pain or that issue. Yet the cause is still there, so you get worse, and you get and you end up with these other side effects and end up dead.
Yeah, and then finally, the last one I think we were talking about that we really wanted to touch on is on Netflix right now. It's called Game Changers, and Game Changers basically breaks down. It follows these world-class athletes, and by world-class athletes, I mean top of the food chain, best of the best athletes who have gone to a plant-based diet. We've mentioned it before on the Lourdes Chris Show.
They were completely vegan,
but they went completely vegan. Yeah, and these, we're talking strongmen that are in strongman competitions and football players
and winning. Yep. And so you definitely got to check that. What's the other one? HealthNet? No. What the Health?
What the Health was the other one that we really liked.
The Health or something. What the Health something. But we'll have to look.
I think it is what. No, I think it is What the Health. In fact, I wrote it down. So let me find it here.
Good. And that one's also eye-opening because you get to see.
Yeah, it's called What the Health.
Yeah, What the Health. Check that one out as well, because that one's really good.
Yeah. So I mean, just basically, there's another one about sugar that's on Amazon Prime. Oh, I forgot what that's called.
There's so many good ones.
Addicted to Sugar or something. Anyways, my point is there are resources available to everybody. If anybody's if you're dealing with any sort of health opportunity, if you're dealing with any sort of
just change your diet a little bit.
Yeah, just look into what could help you, but not like you said, not the synthetic. Let me take a pill, because that's really not healing you.
That's not healing you. That's literally covering up your symptoms, but not even addressing the reason.
Well, and then I would argue covering up your symptoms, but then giving you other symptoms, which cause them to have to give you yet another pill for those symptoms. And
well, it makes sense, because if I have a problem here and all I did was put something on top of it, but it's still corroding. The corrosion isn't stopping just because I put a Band-Aid on it. It's still going to keep going, but the Band-Aid, I don't have to see the problem.
Yeah.
It's still there though. So that's going to get worse, which is going to cause more symptoms on top of the side effects, because of and I think most of the side effects are because you're getting all these synthetic things that are purposely in there to create another problem, while making the problem you already had even worse.
And then we want to end on the mini series that we just got done watching, Dope Sick.
Oh, that was good.
The thing is about Dope Sick is they walk a fine line, and I have to give them credit where it's due. They did walk this fine line really well. They made it about one type of pharmaceutical medicine. But when you watch Dope Sick, I encourage you to put on the glasses that this is true for all of medicines, and we found that to be so. Basically.
Well, and not just that.
I mean, first of all, the performances were brilliant. So if you're not a big documentary person, this TV show was astounding. The performances were top notch. Obviously, high class actors that were in this thing,
and it's based on
and it's based on a true story.
But they make it as though, and I like the way they did that, is they expose all this stuff that actually really does happen and go, well, it's not like it's a true story. But then you go and you look up these people's names and you see the lawsuits and how they had to pay out.
And it really kind of made us mad as we were watching it, because like I said, we were watching it from a perspective of not just OxyContin or that's what it was about. We were watching it like, this isn't true for just this one medicine, guys. These are the companies that are pushing all the things that are giving you the Band-Aid to other things. They know.
Keep saying those words, but yeah.
What words am I saying, do you think?
So I would just say that these companies,
we'll bleep it out.
Yeah, these companies actually know what they're doing. They manipulate the studies, but they do have a lot of the long list of side effects hidden somewhere. You just have to find it, because you will find them. If you do enough research, you'll see it, because we found them. And then you see the long list of what they've hidden, but then they make it in a way where it looks like it's okay because it fixes this, even though it may kill you.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that. In fact, it's a funny anecdote, and then we'll go to break. But I did want to mention that there's a certain pill that you can take that helps with men that are feeling, that they can't
rise
perform.
to the occasion.
They can't perform. That was never meant to be for that purpose.
Nope.
Basically, the company
it actually made for, I think the issue was with the lungs.
Yes, that's right. To help with breathing.
And whether it's fibrosis of the lungs or whatever, any of those things. And what they found that actually helped that. But for men, they also noticed that they rose to the occasion. So they're like, well, we have more people with that problem than this problem. So that's when they market it to that.
Yes. And so that's just big business right there. I mean,
which can affect your heart still, though.
Yes, they can. Yes, no, it can. That's why they need to make sure you're a certain type of heart that you. Anyways, I digress. But it's interesting because it's all about marketing. It's all about getting it out there, and Dope Sick really kind of shined a light on that. And it's a phenomenal TV series. So we will take that break, like we said. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the books that Lourdes
and one other documentary. But yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize we hadn't left one out.
Yes.
So we'll be right back.
Restore uses the best of nature to restore your energy.
Yeah, Root Brands chose the best ingredients and enhanced their benefits to create a complete product with everything your body needs to run full of energy all day long.
And it's a perfect aid if you're trying to lose weight, if you're on a vegan diet, or simply want to give your body all the vitamins, nutrients, antioxidant, amino acid it needs for a healthy, active life.
Yeah, and it tastes really good.
It does. It tastes like a dreamsicle, actually.
Yeah.
But it's so good, and it does exactly that. It restores your body, and that's what you need. I mean, when it comes to your DNA and your cells, you want to get those back to cells. And it's almost like like reverse aging.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a reason why this product is called Restore, and it is part of the Root Brand's Trinity that we use every day, which is pretty much, you can say it's Nourish, Balance, Cleanse.
It does. And it's funny. I mean, that's how we start our morning, actually.
Yeah.
The very first thing we do is we get on these because it's like it just really starts your morning right.
Yep. And so you should do the same. You should go to therootbrands.com/create option C.
Yes. therootbrands.com/create option C.
We're back.
We're back. Yeah. So we are back. And actually on break, my brilliant and amazing wife reminded me that we actually left out a couple that we were going to talk about. Guys, once I get into a flow of conversation, sometimes I just keep going and I think we got it all covered. But fortunately, she's here to keep me grounded.
It's because there's so many out there. One of them is cancers in the system.
Yes.
You can look that one up. It's really, really good. Talk about exposure.
Well, no, what's interesting about cancer, it's in the system, is it actually talks about how the system is set up to make sure that people have to go to a certain path when it comes to dealing with cancer, and they kind of block you from doing anything else outside of that, and how they acknowledge, I won't go into
We won't get too deep. Just check that out. I mean, we're trying to be cool while we share this information.
Yeah, just look into it. And check it out. The other one that we forgot to mention, and you're right, honey, it's a big one. It's a big one. I'm upset with myself that I dropped the ball on this. The TTAC, The Truth About Cancer, has several docu-series available.
They have one, The Truth About Cancer. The other one is The Truth About Cancer, The Global Quest.
The Truth About Vaccines.
The Truth About Vaccines. Those, I mean, these are really great conversations.
And then their most recent one, Propaganda Exposed.
And these, it's not just people talking, it's experts in the field of these, you know, whether it's about vaccines or whether it's about cancer or any of those things. These are actual scientists and doctors and experts on the subject that they're sharing all this information.
I said it before, and I'll
say it again.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. What's amazing about the TTAC docu-series, all of them, is that they don't tell you to not trust certain things. They don't tell you to not believe in certain things. They don't take a position like, we believe this and this is why. That's not what they're doing. They're asking the questions. And these are questions we all should be asking. And
they're letting the experts answer it, and not just answer it, but actually show you.
Right.
And it's really, really intriguing. That's The Truth About Cancer. The Truth About Cancer, The Global Quest. I'm actually in that one, which was, an honor to be in that one. And the other one, that's Cancers in the System. I was actually on that one in the middle of, so when you see me there, I actually had cancer and was in the middle of my journey with that. So you'll see that. And then the other one that I liked, was it where we got, it's the Propaganda Exposed.
Propaganda Exposed, which is the most recent one. And actually you can go to the Truth About Cancer.
And you should see it there too.
Yep, you should see it there.
You'll see all the links to that.
We're actually in that one as well.
Yeah, we're also in that one.
What I like about Propaganda Exposed is it really opens your eyes to the bigger questions, like, are we being manipulated? Are we being corralled into a certain belief system? And
I love that they show the actual clips of the people.
These are
they're showing you, here it is. Look, they're saying it right there.
Yeah, this is what they said.
There you go. There it goes right there. And I love that because it's not like you're going, that was their opinion. It's like, no, it's coming out of the mouths of. Yeah. And that's where I'll leave it at. But
I can argue with that. Yeah, for sure. And so I think we're good with the documentaries.
Yes.
Okay, I think so.
And then books. And then the books are great. I mean, I read so many.
You did. So but before we get into those books, I do want to say that we did write a book about our journey to cancer. That's available on Amazon, and it's called,
well, the English one is called Our Journey to Option C.
Our Journey to Option C. I'm sorry, guys. Our Journey to Option C, and the Spanish version is
Nuestro Viaje a la Opción C. So we have it in English and in Spanish, and you can get that on Amazon.
Now, what's good about the book, and I'm going to toot my own horn because I actually this is why we did it this way.
Yes,
I'm going to toot my own horn. The fact is that the book is not just about our journey. It 100% is about our journey with Lourdes' cancer and how she got back to health.
Right, and it's our journey. It's literally called Our Journey to Option C.
Yeah, and then what I was going to get there. What I was experiencing being the caregiver and being on the sidelines like that. Yep. But it's also shares with you the information that we discovered as we discovered it in
what we went through, literally our journey, what we both went through, the ups and downs, the things I did, the things I tried, links to anything that did work.
Yes.
we don't make any money on these links. We just put it in there because we actually share, this is what we got.
Yes.
So if I did it, it's on there. What didn't work is on there. What worked is on there, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I would say that's why and there's recipes.
There is recipes in there. In fact, when it comes to recipes, Lourdes actually wrote a follow-up book because a lot of people were saying they wanted the nuts and bolts recipe, and so you did that 3-week step into a healthier you.
Do it in a way where it's not so overwhelming, because in the book of our journey, we share everything we went through, highs and lows, from the beginning of the journey to the end of the journey. So we got all the links and recipes and everything that was done, the treatments and all that I did. Because you can give somebody a list of everything you did, and it's like, whoa, so what do I do just to start?
Yeah.
And that's where the 3 week step into a healthier you.
Well, what I like about 3 week step into a healthier you too is that what you do is you introduce like one concept for them in a day. So you're literally dipping your toe in before you make the big plunge, which I think it makes it a lot more easy for people to get into a healthier lifestyle.
And many that got in the book had reached out, and was really nice to hear their thoughts, how they love the book, how it changed their health, how they dropped weight, which makes sense, because if you have a lot of inflammation, a lot of times people think that all this weight is just fat, and not really. A lot of the weight is inflammation. And when you're having health issues or your body's off balance, that kind of happens. So it's kind of just getting you to do one thing that you're adding each day into your own diet, so that by the time at the end of the 3 weeks, you got like a full on, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and you're feeling great.
Yeah, and both of those are available on Amazon. Actually, we learned that the fastest way for people to find it is just to search by your name.
Yeah, search by, even though our names are on there, it's Lourdes Lavoie. The moment you put Lourdes Lavoie, the books will pop up. Yeah,
and then, but for yourself, you actually some of the books that you got early on.
Oh my goodness! Well, there was so many, but one of them was Kill Cancer, Not People.
Kill Cancer, Not People.
That was really good.
We still have these.
Yeah, I got all the books in the little trunk thing, but so Kill Cancer, Not People was one of them out of many. I'm only going to remember so many because it was just that many books.
Well, then there were some spiritual books that you got as well.
Yeah, but then we also had the China Study. That was really good.
Wow, the China Study is eye-opening.
Everyone should read the China Study. That was
and that's to your point. No matter what you're feeling or facing as far as your health opportunity, you don't even have to be facing a health opportunity.
You might want to just go, you know what? Why do I have to wait till I get sick?
Yeah.
Why don't I just eat certain things so that I can prevent it and stay healthy?
And there's a reason why it was called the China Study, and I don't want to give up too much of that.
Yeah, because it was.
But it's basically literally a study done in China, because they were allowed to do this study in China that they couldn't do here in the U.S.
Yep, and it was all basically through diet, and it's amazing. And it's not just. It wasn't just like things you were drinking. It was a variety of things that they put together, and it had nothing to do with just one thing or another. It didn't have to do just with cancer.
Right.
It was cancer, heart disease, like one thing after another. And then and what I love about it is it shows the studies, but they actually have pictures in there of the before and afters of like someone's heart and their arteries and stuff. It was amazing on the change.
Yeah, that's you're right. It's a book I recommend anybody read, because it's just eye opening.
Definitely.
What diet actually does for us.
Yeah, and it's that important.
It really is.
Most people think that's like, it doesn't matter. You only live once. It's like, well, why do you want to live it sickly?
Right.
Like,
in fact, I think in the book, if you were to get our journey to option C, in the book, you made a more comprehensive list of all the books that you read early on.
Yeah.
To
there's
help you out.
There's a long list there, not as long as what I actually did read.
Yeah.
But there's quite a few books in there. Yes.
Yeah. And of course, if you reach out to us on the LourdesandChrisShow.com and you send an email, we would be glad to send you that list of if you're just trying to take notes furiously, we can just send you the link. It's fine. Yeah.
And we'll send you a
list.
List with all of them. Yep. And then you go, these are the books that they read. Here's the list of documentary.
One of the most profound things I think all the doctors that you dealt with when we were on your journey with cancer was that you did the work yourself.
Yes.
And that's probably the most important takeaway I think anybody should get from our documentary that's we're still rehashing. It's not available yet.
Yeah, not available yet.
Or the book that we wrote. The big thing that you should take away is that you're responsible for this yourself. This is your journey. This is something that you have to tackle yourself. And when Dr. Vasco said that you had done the work, you'd done your own work, you'd done your own research, and that's why you were able to beat this thing the way you did, was because of the work that you put into it.
Well, I think there's something to it when you do the research yourself. You start looking at documents, you start looking at what other people have done. You start reading these different books with all the, the studies and evidence they have on there. When you actually start doing that, there's something about this, like you feel like you get your power back and you feel good. So feeling good is, first of all, one of the healing processes of healing from whatever you're dealing with. If you're just sitting back and hoping, it's not the same. But when you start reading it, it's like you go, wow, I didn't know that. And this is why it works. And so you start reading the stuff, it really stimulates the brain. It stimulates everything. When the brain is stimulated, everything gets stimulated. And you just kind of like heal in the process of searching.
Yeah. And the thing of it is, and I think that's the important takeaway, and we'll stop there. I think we have one more break.
Yes.
And so when we come back, we'll kind of wrap up. But that's the big takeaway. I think you're right. I think it's all about you. It's all about your responsibility and taking care of it. That's what option C is. And we'll be right back.
Yes.
Zero In will help lead you out of brain fog and into laser sharp mental focus.
Yeah, it's a natural alternative to synthetic stimulants. You get all of your cylinders firing at full force.
And made with turmeric, pine bark, velvet bean seed, and vitamin D.
She looks at me when she says velvet bean seed because she knows it's my favorite ingredient. I just like the sound of it. Velvet beans.
It does. It sounds velvety. Yeah. But it's so good because this is food for the brain. And our brain runs our body, you know what I'm saying? So if you think about it, it's like you zero in on what you need to get done.
See what you did there? Zero in.
Well, that's what I like about the products, that the name means exactly that. For zero in, it's about the brain, it's about focusing, it's about having it do what it's supposed to do so that you can focus.
Yeah, I love it. Take it every morning as part of our regimen. That includes the whole Trinity for Root Brands.
Yes.
You should do the same. Go to therootbrands.com/create option C.
Yeah.
We're back. Okay, so once more, we just want to thank all of you for coming out, and we do want to encourage you to check out the Root Brands. To do so, go to therootbrands.com/create option C. Take a look at the Root Brands. It's honestly turned things around for us. It's turned things around. They have studies available to you as well that can prove that they've turned things around for these people.
In fact, what you can do is, if I were you, because I don't take anything that I don't see a difference or feel anything. The fact that I see and feel a difference for myself and see it in my husband, see it in my grandson, who's only one, he's on it. That's how safe because it's all natural. Yep. There's no fillers, no synthetic, no nothing. It's so healthy and natural for you. And you see the reversing of aging on everything because it's your body is actually taking what it needs and it just puts you to the right, like it basically just puts you new.
Yeah.
So when you get on there and you sign up, everybody says, is it an MLM? No. Just like when you go onto Amazon and you sign up and you get an affiliate so that you can share your link, but others can buy from there and you get a percentage from that sale. It's an affiliate like Amazon, and you would register just like Amazon. You would get on there, and what we do, because you know how you get free shipping with Amazon, because you signed up to. Now there's no pay with Amazon. You do have to pay to be a Prime member.
That's right.
With Root Prime on Root Brands, you do not pay to be a member. It's free. It's just that you're just doing an auto ship. And what I did is, I know we're all gonna take it constantly, because why wouldn't we? It's giving us exactly what our bodies need. So when you're doing an auto ship, that puts you on as a Root Prime member, which means again, there's no charge to do that, but when you sign up, you use our referral code, create option C, you put in your information, you go on the shopping thing, you go to the thing where it says save and subscribe. That's how you sign up as a Root Prime member. Every month, they do an auto ship. After the first order, you get free shipping, which is nice to have free shipping each month. So you're saving about $12 to $15 a month.
Right there, yep.
And then every 4 months, you actually get a coupon code to get $50 to $100 towards more of your products that you want to get. Yeah, so that's it's honestly one of the best things, because you're taking something you know your body needs, because we're so depleted from everything we eat, and you're getting it at the highest quality. So you're staying at your tip-top notch of who you are.
Right.
While it's just like it's a win-win.
Yep.
So honestly, I'm not even going through all the things. Just go to therootbrands.com/create option C. Sign up, get these products. We love the Trinity pack, which is what we do each month.
Yep.
But we also do the Mitochondria Defense Shield and the Relive Greens. Yep. It's like, we love it.
Yes, we do. And so for those of you that have gone onto the LourdesandChrisShow.com and donated, we absolutely see you. We absolutely appreciate you. You can do the same. Go to theLourdesandChrisShow.com, and there are 2 ways to actually donate. There are 2 different buttons. So we try to make it as easy as possible for people to donate. Those of you that have donated and continue to donate, you are keeping the lights on, quite literally, for us to be able to continue this conversation, because you don't know who needs to know that thing that you know. We ask that you share, like, follow, and share every one of these videos. Get the word out. Get people talking about health. It should be, I mean, it should be a conversation better than like football or you know what I mean?
We should be, it's your life,
right?
You know, why live your life feeling sick, or you go, I feel fine, you know? But it's like, if you're just eating your basic foods, or you're just eating, oh, I eat my fruits and vegetables and blah, blah, blah. But as much as we all know that our food is so depleted from the nutrients it needs, and minerals and trace minerals and vitamins and I mean, like, this whole thing, most of it is taken away. You do need to supplement, because you are lacking the very thing that we didn't lack.
That's right.
Many decades ago. And I mean, many decades, over a good 100 years.
Yes, that's true.
So about 150 years. So yes.
So I mean, I'm saying in today's culture, in today's society, obviously pop culture rules. People talk about things like reality TV shows or sports or whatever. And look, those are all fine topics, but we really should be talking about health in the same way we do those topics, because it's probably, I would argue, more important than all that. And so if you haven't started following us on social media, I don't know what you're waiting for. You can totally do it.
Just go on to these right here, and then click. Oh, and some of them subscribe and follow and share, because you don't know the person that needs to know the thing you know. So just share.
That's right. In fact, a lot of the information you got was because someone posted or shared something that we absolutely needed to know. It's an energy thing that happens when we're all connected like that, and we are all connected. And when you're throwing it out there, what you discover and what you learn, you are making a difference each and every time you do. So we appreciate those of you that do like and follow and share us on all these different social media platforms, because you are spreading the good word and keeping the conversation going around health when it comes to mind, body, and spirit. So we absolutely love you for that. And we're going to see you again in about a week, another Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because that's when we've committed to get this show out to you folks every week.
Every Thursday.
So we'll see you then. And until then, have an amazing week. Have a healthy week. And we love you.
We love you.